Hello everybody, this is Michael T. Bradley.
This is Jason Freston.
And welcome to Golarion Illuminated, in which we will try to explain some of the history, some of the present, some of the different things that you might not know about Golarion in a fascinating and revealing way. Golarion, of course, being the world in which Pathfinder, the game from Paizo, takes place. So, we will start with the present. What year is it currently in Golarion?
4711.
Okay, and we were actually just looking this up. 4711, if you're watching this in 2011, correct?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because apparently time moves forward in Golarion at the same rate that it moves forward in our world. So theoretically in 2013 it will be 4713 there.
Okay. So now let's go to the distant past. Earthfall. First of all, Earthfall sounds very similar to something else that exists in the Pathfinder world, Starfall. They, however, are not the same thing. Can you explain the difference?
Apparently Starfall is a city in Numeria. I'm not positive why it's called Starfall, but that's something to look up, I think, for a later thing.
Once we start going into places more. Right now we're looking at events.
Well, meanwhile, Earthfall obviously is big asteroid hitting the planet. So.
And how long ago did that happen?
About 9,000 years, give or take.
Okay.
So.
What was the most important thing that came out of Earthfall, or what the most important things? Like, what exactly? What was different about the land before that happened as opposed to afterwards?
All right. The big events that Earthfall caused is it sunk Azlanti continent. It sunk that, so it destroyed the Azlanti culture. It destroyed the Thessalian culture. It brought down 1,000 years of darkness because of presumably a nuclear winter-ish type of a thing. It also caused the majority of the elves to evacuate the planet and go into a different realm entirely.
Okay. Now the elves we'll get to later, I think, on a later cast, because that has a huge amount of stuff behind it. However, let's talk about the Azlanti, because that ties into something else we're going to talk about. The Azlanti. Obviously, as you were Freudian slipping there, must be based on Atlantis because of the name similarity, and also it was an island that sunk, correct?
Yep. It specifically references it as a continent, but I don't know how,
okay, so
concrete that is. So.
And what do we know about the Azlanti?
Not that much. It did say that they were magically and technologically more advanced than Golarion even is now, so presumably they did have a large amount of culture to them, but there was not much. There were Azlanti survivors from Earthfall. They interbred with normal humans, which by the term normal humans makes the assumption that there was something significantly different about them.
But as far as we know, they weren't, say, elves or
no,
like a specifically different race that we know of.
No, the only reason I even bring that up is because Aroden is said to be the last true blood Azlanti left.
Okay.
He never his line never intermingled with anything else. So it just could be meaning that, it's a unbroken human line and they were just humans, or it could insinuate something else.
Okay. Yeah, but normal human as opposed to, their race or whatever.
Yes.
It seems to imply something there. Okay, so speaking of Aroden, big deal. Tell us about Aroden. Why is he such a big deal? So he's a surviving member of the Azlanti, which, big deal there. What else?
Well, he's also the first mortal to ascend to Godhood. He actually rose the Starstone, which is the fragment that was left from Earthfall of the impact.
Which did not happen at Starfall.
So, he actually rose that up from oh wow, now I'm thinking of other stuff too. It caused the Inner Sea when it hit, so... But anyway, rose it up out of the water and actually used it to ascend to Godhood. So, which is actually where the calendar starts at 0. That is their 0 event. From there on, it counts forward.
Okay.
So it's about 4,177 years ago.
Okay.
Or 4,007 and
right.
11 years ago.
Okay, so exactly how did he use the Starstone to ascend to Godhood?
He passed the test.
Okay.
It's very vague on that. There's not much known about it. There are references to ways very, very few references to ways to pass the test in the current age, but it has to deal with passing through traps and magic being weird and being crossing a to begin with you have to cross a infinitely bottomless chasm to get over there, which is I'm assuming all stuff that Aroden never had to do because Aroden actually brought it to its resting place now. So whatever he specifically did that the first time, no one knows.
And now it rests in Absalom, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and Absalom, of course, the center of everything on a little island in the middle there. Yeah. So, saying that he passed the test and saying that there are rules to pass the test currently would imply that others either can or have passed the test as well?
Yes, others have. 3 specifically have, actually. And presumably the test was set up by Aroden himself, but I'm not sure on that, so... I mean, I can't imagine...
Even though he took it?
The thing is, like I said, we don't know... The references to it is that he built something around it. There's a tower around it. So presumably he put something there.
So there might be tests for the tower as well as tests for the Starstone.
Yes.
Okay, so Aroden ascended to godhood. What god did he become?
The god of prophecy.
Okay, and now that ties into something, correct? Or I guess actually we might be talking about that next time. Because, well, we could go ahead and talk about it a little bit now, I think. I think we're good on time. Aroden, the god of prophecy, that's gone now, correct? Something happened?
Well, yes, when he died. Presumably. Actually, I don't think anyone's 100% sure, but he's no longer answering prayers. He's not giving divine magic anymore, so... everyone just assumes he is dead, and prophecy broke when that happened. Okay. So I believe the term was, they said, all great prophecy broke.
So do we know, does that mean that there can be no prophecies now made for the future, or does that mean that any prophecy ever made is gone?
I'm not positive on that. I have not seen a reference one way or the other. I would assume, though, it meant that any prophecy that happened before him, specifically great prophecy, whatever that means, was broken when he died, but obviously divination magic still works, so at least prophecy on a small scale still functions.
I guess the reason I ask that is because, and this is a bit of a tangent, but I've read the fiction book Prince of Wolves, and in there, one of the characters becomes the Prince of Wolves, which was a prophecy, at least as I read it, that was fulfilled. However, it's not a major prophecy, I guess, because it affects, like, gypsies, so...
Well, the prophecy also may have been, I believe that there was a prophecy about what Aroden returning, and when he did, it was supposed to start a golden age, and obviously that didn't happen. So it may be just meaning that one single big prophecy there, but...
Okay. Alright, so... we've gotten through Starfall. Oh, you said something about the Thessalonians, was it?
It's another ancient empire that existed, that was contemporaries with the Azlanti.
So did that fall as well?
Yes, during Earthfall. Okay,
so and only people from both of those cultures survive? Is that how it goes?
Only people?
Yeah, like none of their technology. Say?
More or less, yeah. The Thessalonians. I know that the Rune Lords were the people in charge of them, and at least one of them is still around, but their actual technology itself.
The fact that there are traps and trials in there seems to imply that it was caused by something. What?
Which it was. It was caused by the Aboleth, which were an ancient race of fish people that basically were upset or jealous, perhaps, I'm not sure, about the Azlanti and their culture, and so they actually did a magical ritual that caused an asteroid to actually impact the planet, so...
Okay, and so I guess they got their wish because the Azlanti and their technology and everything went away.
Yeah.
But the fact that there are traps set into the, what is it, Starstone?
The Starstone, yeah.
The Starstone seems to imply that even before they caused it to fall, somebody put those traps in place there, but we don't know anything about that, correct?
We don't, and it could be because there are a number of different star metals from different impacts of, that's happened, throughout the thousands of years of Golarion's history. So it's possible that the metal itself, something about the Starstone itself, or even the Starstone itself interacting with the ritual that forced it to come down, gives it the capability to induce godhood. And maybe Aroden didn't actually have a test himself when he took it, when he got it, but maybe once he did that, he realized that that nobody should just touch it and become a god, once he kind of got godlike wisdom, and so he built the traps around it.
Gotcha.
Or it very well may have been, or on the reverse side, what you're saying, it could have actually been some type of a conscious act to cause whatever rock is hurtling towards Golarion to actually have that ability. Though, who would do that? Because the Aboleth, definitely that would not be their intent. So, and if it was any of the other gods, they definitely have not claimed responsibility for that. And I can't imagine any of them wanting that type of thing.
So much like the things that happened 9,000 years in our actual real-world history, a lot of mystery still surrounding that.
Yes.
Okay, I believe that is everything for now. Coming up next time, we will talk more about the elves and the drow, how that interacts, and we will talk about what happened after the death of Aroden, specifically starting with Cheliax and the changes it wrought there.
Awesome.
All right, this is Michael T. Bradley.
And Jason Freston.
Thanks for joining us.